5 seconds to go. Start. The CIC rejected MCD's contention that the information as sought for by respondent was exempt from disclosure under Section 81J of the Act. The CIC was of the view that disclosure of information pertaining to assets of public servants, which is collected by a public authority, cannot be construed as invasion of the privacy of an individual. Ms. B.G. Rajesh, learned counsel for the MCD, contended that information regarding the personal assets of its employees is required to be treated as confidential, and merely because employees of MCD are required to disclose their assets to MCD, the same would not exclude such information from the scope of Section 81J of the Act. She referred to the decision of a coordination bench of this court in Allahabad Bank versus Nitesh Kumar Tripathi 2013 SCC online Delhi 2491 in support of her contention. She also referred to the decisions of the Supreme Court in Girish Ramchandra Deshpande versus Central Information Commission and others 2013 1 SCC 212 and R.K. Jain versus Union of India and another 2013-14 SCC 794. Mr. V.K. Sharma, the learned counsel for the respondent, stated that he was no longer pressing for disclosure of the information as initially sought by the respondent and had limited his request to information sought at serial numbers 5, 6 and 7 in his RTI application. The said information being whether Dr. Ashok Rawat held any immovable property in his name, whether any immovable property was purchased by him after entering service with MCD in India, including Delhi, and the details of his properties at the time of joining of service with MCD. Mr. Sharma further stated that although at serial number 5, respondent had sought information as to the immovable property in the name of Dr. Ashok Rawat's wife and children as well, he was no longer seeking that information. In view of the above, the only question required to be addressed is whether MCD is obliged to disclose details of the immovable properties held by its employees or whether such information is exempt from disclosure under Section 81J of the Act. Before proceeding further, it would be relevant to refer to Section 81J of the Act, which reads as exemption from disclosure of information. Notwithstanding anything contained in this Act, there shall be no obligation to give any citizen information which relates to personal information, the disclosure of which has no relationship to any public activity or interest, or which would cause unwarranted invasion of the privacy of the individual, unless the Central Public Information Officer or the State Public Information Officer or the appellate authority, as the case may be, is satisfied that the larger public interest justifies the disclosure of such information. It is apparent from a plain reading of Clause J of Section 81 of the Act that personal information which has no relationship to any public activity or interest would be exempt from disclosure. However, such information can be disclosed provided that the PIO or the appellate authority under the Act is satisfied that larger public interest justifies such disclosure. In the present case, there is no reason to believe that disclosure of information sought by respondent is for some larger public interest. Respondent has not provided any credible justification for seeking information regarding the personal assets of the MCD employee in question. Although it has been contended that disclosure of assets of public servants and their families would serve to stem corruption, however, in the present case, no particular facts have been disclosed by respondent which will indicate that the information sought would serve a larger public purpose. In view of the above, the only question that needs to be answered is whether the information sought by respondent qualifies to be personal information, the disclosure of which has no relationship with any public activity or interest. Stop.